Well, now that I finished my coffee, it's time to be charged up so that I can talk to you all about chickens. Chickens are definitely one of the entry animals into homesteading. They're one of our first animals that we welcomed to our homestead, and right now we probably have way too many, but that's beyond the point. Today we're going to break down what the pros and cons of raising chickens really is like, because we've learned a lot since we added chickens to our homestead, and I'd love to share them with you. But if you already have chickens, I dare you to keep on listening so that you can let me know if these are also pros and cons that you have at your homestead, or if there's any others that you want to add down in the comment section below. I'm DL of the Split Arrow Homestead, and welcome to our channel where we bring you new content every week about how to start your own homestead and living a more self-sustainable lifestyle. And today I'm taking you along on my morning chores as I tell you about some of these pros and cons of chickens. And the first one should come at no surprise, but it is the fact that you're going to get delicious eggs every morning. Now, depending on the breed of chickens that you do add to your homestead, it's going to vary in the color, the size, as well as how often you actually get to pick up these beautiful eggs. We have chosen a variety of different breeds here at our homestead, and I'll put some links down below of some of the breeds that we really enjoy here. But we get about 1 egg per day from each of our chickens, and we even get them throughout the colder months, which is amazing. There's nothing like cracking open a fresh egg for breakfast, or being able to add some fresh eggs into any of your baked or cooked goods, as well as share them around with your community, because we sell a lot of our chicken eggs to people in the community. But let's go ahead and collect some of them. Entertainment. Honestly, you watch Netflix or any other streaming channels for hours, but you can also watch your chickens. They're basically like modern day dinosaurs. So you have your own Jurassic Park action movie happening in your own backyard. They do the funniest things, and being able to just wake up in the morning, look out our large bedroom window and see them outside not only brings large amounts of entertainment, but they're joy to have around, and be able to come out during the day, check on them, and help them out. But that also brings another pro, and if you do have kids, this is going to speak to you specifically, but I think that they're a really great educational source for children. You get to actually raise your own food and understand what it really takes to have responsibilities, from actually taking them as a chick, seeing the whole growing experience of a chicken, being able to give them food and water and really aid in their growth is amazing for kids to understand. And then being able to take on those everyday responsibilities of feeding, watering them, collecting their eggs, and making sure that they have a safe place to live. Honestly, there's not that many other things that can teach a kid more than actually raising their own animals, and chickens are going to be a great example of this. Within our chicken coop, we actually use something called the deep layer method, which means that we're basically putting in a bunch of different types of mulch, wood chips, grass shavings, different types of composting from our garden, and we're letting our chickens do all the composting work for us. So they will use their dinosaur-like claws to scratch into the compost, turning it pretty regularly. Then we have this actually heating our coop for the winter, so all winter long we will keep our chickens inside of this composted area, and then in the spring we'll be able to clean it out, and a lot of it will be dirt that we can actually use inside of our garden. Now, you definitely want to make sure that any of the compost you do get from your chickens, you do have a cooling off period where you wait a couple of months to make sure that any of the materials that they've dropped into it will not contaminate any of your garden goods. but having your chickens do all of the hard lifting of composting is something really great. Not sure if you caught that, but yes, we actually do take a lot of our kitchen waste or leftovers and put it in with our chickens. So think the cores of your apples, any of the ends of your vegetables, or even leftovers from a restaurant that you might not want to eat anymore. We will actually throw into our outdoor run for our chickens. Oof. We got some women laying eggs right now, and they will eat that up. They're going to love it, and whenever they really don't enjoy eating, they will just choose not to eat. But this does help to add in some additional different types of fruits, vegetables, anything of the likes into their diet, as well as lower the cost of your food because you are supplementing it with things that would have been waste anyway. And then in the end, they will still recycle us and add it to the compost that you are already gathering for the compost that is in their chicken coop. So really not that bad. And it makes me feel good to know that I'm not wasting a lot of different foods. Now to get the eggs. Here is just some of our eggs. We usually come in around 2 times a day to clean out the eggs that are in their nesting boxes. And another pro of chickens is that we can actually use these eggs to churn out a profit for our farm, or at least help supplement a lot of the cost of the chicken feed or needs for our chickens, because we will sell a lot of these eggs. And because they are fresh, grown, really clean, nice, hearty eggs with extra vitamins, because our chickens do free range around our homestead, as well as bright, vibrant yolk colors because they are so fresh, you can garner a lot higher of a value. And even with some of the inflation that we have right now, we're getting around $5 a dozen. So honestly, a really great way to give back to the community, as well as help make some extra money around your farm so you're not spending it all. When you talk to most new homesteaders, they're gonna say eggs are why they got started with chickens. But honestly, just the joy of raising chickens, how much fun they are, is what keeps people raising more and more, and why chicken math is honestly a real thing. But with all of the pros of raising chickens, there definitely are some negatives. And we're gonna go through these as well, because I think it's really important that you know both the positives and the negatives before you get started with any animal that you want to raise on your homestead. And the first one is that these aren't living creatures. This isn't like a garden that if you don't attend to, it can just perspire and it's fine. These are animals. They have their own mind, they have their own character, and every single one is going to be a little bit different. So whether you're starting with them from a baby or you adopt ones that are older, you really need to understand they each have their own personality, and a con could be that they might not always get along with each other. And also, you do need to care for these little guys every single day. You can build automations to help around in the homestead, but these are living animals, and you need to know that before diving into adding any animal into your homestead. I'm gonna go let this little guy back into the coop because he's afraid to free range. He's just still a little bit little still. We talked about eggs, and something to remember about eggs is they aren't free. Just so you know, when you get chickens, the eggs that you get, you are paying for. You need to actually purchase the chickens, purchase the coop, feed them, water them, watch them, let them out, give them care. So although you might get free eggs every morning, fresh eggs, they are costing you money, and they definitely are an investment. If you want to raise any animal, you need to know that every animal that you add is going to cost you money out of your pocket. And I think this is definitely a con of chickens, is they aren't just free. It isn't like you can plant a seed and then it grows, you just water it. No, chickens are going to cost money in order to keep, maintain, and let them continue on in their life. And these eggs are going to cost you money. Another con that people don't think about is chickens aren't going to be laying eggs their entire life. So when you first get your chickens, they are much smaller. They actually won't lay eggs at all until they come of age to start laying eggs. So when you first get your eggs, they're going to honestly be pretty small. This is a younger chicken that just started laying, and as they get bigger, they will start to get bigger. It doesn't seem like that much different of a size, but they're actually starkly very different. As they get older, they will start to lay some of those larger eggs, depending on the breed that you have, and if they do even lay large eggs. Some chickens do just lay smaller eggs their entire life. But if you do get a breed that does lay often and they do lay large eggs, this isn't going to be forever. As they do start to age, after they get a couple years old, I think 3-4 years old, they're gonna stop laying as often, and after even more years, they will most likely stop laying altogether, because they're not built to lay eggs every single day for 10 years. These chickens are going to outlive the years that they actually lay eggs for, and you're going to need to think about what you do when your chickens do stop laying eggs. Will you keep them as pets? Will you give them away? Or will you put them on the dinner table? It's really unknown, but this is something that you're going to need to think about when you do get chickens for laying eggs. Another con of chickens is they honestly smell really bad. They poop everywhere. If you decide to have free-range chickens, expect there to be poop everywhere that they can free-range, or even not free range, because they can fly, and they will go into your patio, they will go onto your front steps, and they will poop everywhere that they're not supposed to, and it smells, it's drippy, it's a lot of poop. And with that poop will come flies. We have lots and lots of flies, so we also have lots and lots of fly catchers that are really grossly filled. So expect that there's going to be a lot of smells, poop, and flies. And a lot of it will just be because of your chicken's waste, but also dependent on how you do keep them. We do use our deep layer method, which means that we are composting below them. So it is great because we are churning out brand new compost for our gardens, but it also means that there are so many flies and bugs. When you get chickens, you will most likely have food and water for your chickens. And if that food is on the floor, it's going to bring mice, rats, and other types of vermin. Snakes, all different animals will flee to the areas where your chickens are, because it's usually dry and there's food and water for them. So you're definitely going to need to think about what you're going to do when these things come, because they're inevitably going to come. You can build out your own scapegoats from them, but you're definitely going to need to think of a strategy. We do have a lot of humane mice traps that we use here at our farm, and then we will be able to let them go in the wilderness. But I'm going to forewarn you that you think they're not going to come, but they will, and some of them are going to be really big, so watch out. But be warned that this is definitely something that's going to come when you get chickens. Along with some of the gross tiny animals that are going to come when you have chickens, you also are probably going to get large animals, because animals all around you are going to sense that you have little tasty treats running around in your yard, and therefore you might also, oh, there's the guineas. You might also get some other types of predators, thinking maybe like fox, coyotes, bears, or whatever else is in your area. So you are going to want to make sure that you are creating a safe space for your chickens. We have automatic doors that we use to keep our chickens in during the nighttime when predators are most likely going to come about. And then we also have fences and cage settings for our animals, especially in the winter when there isn't that many options. We will keep our chickens usually in their outdoor run specifically and not let them free range, because it's just a lot safer for them. We also got these guineas because supposedly they protect the animals by making these sounds. So we'll definitely talk a lot more about guinea fowl, because how could you not, honestly? But those are definitely some of the cons of chickens. It's really just going to be the fact that you're not always going to get eggs. They're going to smell, and they're going to bring other animals with them. It's never a dull moment raising chickens. There's definitely some pros and cons, and if you raise chickens, please leave your comments down below of what you think your pros and cons are. But I hope this was really helpful for learning a lot more about chickens, and hopefully helping you make the decision on whether you really want to add them or not. And I wish you the best of luck. Bye.